No, 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 no. This post is floating around the internet and it is destroying my good waifu's name. It's, nerfed, frig terrible. This post is missing something that is very vital that I'm gonna talk about in this video. So it's kind of like a should you summon part 2, but it's also letting you guys know that Frigg actually hasn't really been nerfed. It's not as bad as people are making it seem. If anything, the buff that she actually got makes her a lot better than people think. We're going to talk about that. Hope you guys enjoy. But man, oh man, I really wish they put something next to these numbers that would be like this. It would change things. It would. Anyways, let's get into it. Alright, so we're in game here. We're taking a look at Frigg. We got her up right here. Same numbers pretty much when it comes to this department, which the 8 shatter, the 8 charge, talked about it in my previous video. Those numbers seem a little on the low side, but when you do take into account her abilities and how they combo with that, those numbers do go up and they become quite nice. It's not too bad. Trust me, she is good on these departments. She actually, I think, reaches the Huma levels when it comes to the shatter and the charge, so it's pretty nice. But this is the most important thing. This frost resonance. This is something that not a lot of people are taking into account. The person that made that post, no hate to you, but the person that made that post really should have took into account this. Because I'm going to put the post on screen, but before I do that, I am going to explain how this kind of takes effect and how things are managed in Frost domain and all that stuff. So let's talk about that real quick. So the way you get her Frost domain, or domain of Frost, however you want to say it, it's her skill, her main skill, which is Fumble Winter, which once you pop, it has a 30-second cooldown. It does the whole thing. It puts a giant domain, Frost domain, around you, in which case that's where the buffs start to apply. She still has her infinite dodges in that Frost domain of Frost. The only difference is in the global side of the game, she has 25% shatter, and in the Chinese side of the game, she has the 15% ice damage and the 25% shatter. This is where people are upset and crying and saying Friggs been nerfed, Friggs been nerfed, Friggs been nerfed. But let me tell you guys something. I will take the Frost Resonance 15% frost attack all the time than waiting to pop an ability every 30 seconds to have that. So this is the big talk of the town right now. Now I know some people say, but BEARDZ, it's when you get her to C6 or S6, because stars in this game. And when you get to her to S6, that's when things really start to take hold. You still have to take into account this right here, Frost Resonance. Let me read this ability. Increases Frost attack by 15% and Frost resistance by 25%. Activate by equipping 2 or more Frost weapons. This set's effect also work with weapons in offhand slot. This effect does not stack, which that means you can have Frigg and Merle. You're getting 15% attack across the board no matter what you do. Those 2 weapons are getting 15%. You got Frigg and Tsubasa. You're getting 15% across the board no matter what you do. You don't have to pop an ability. You're just going to get the 15%. You got Frigg, Merle, Coco. You're getting 15% across the board. Doesn't matter what you do. You're just going to get the 15%. You don't have to pop a skill. You don't have to do nothing special. All you need is Frigg and 1 other Frost weapon, and that is it. That sounds like a buff to me. It does. So, when you do pop the Fumble Winter, right, which gives you the domain of Frost, you get the 25% shatter. You already have the 15% frost attack, so I don't know what the hell they're talking about when they say you don't have that damage. And on top of that, if anything, it's a buff more, and on top of that, you get the frost resistance, which is super nice. Now, do note that resonance doesn't take any effect in PvP, so that's also where people are like, oh, but that's right. I understand that, but still in PvP you do get automatically star 6 characters. So even if you pull 1 copy of Frigg but you go to PvP, you are going to have a star 6 version. Now looking at her star 6, that is where Domain of Frost becomes Domain of Frost 2, which In the global side, it increases the frost attack by 12%. In the Chinese side, it increases the frost damage or frost attack by 25%. So then that stacks. I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently how the numbers go is that 25% frost domain 2 stacks frost domain 1, which gives you that 25, and the 15, which gives you that 40% ice damage, and that 25% shatter. The shatter never changes, so that's a big number, right? 40%. And then you're probably like, well, Beards, so that means when you activate Domain of Frost, you're going to have 12% and then the 25% shatter, but the Chinese side has 40% and they have the 25% shatter. So again, wrong, because you forgot to mention that there is resonance. Frigg has the frost resonance. That means no matter what, don't have to activate an ability, just need 2 frost weapons, you have the 15% attack. That means if you get to Domain of Frost 2 or Frost Domain 2, you're getting the additional 12 on top of that. So you are going to get that 27%, which it's not 40, but if you think about the concept of this, right, you need to hit Domain of Frost. Then in order to get to Domain of Frost 2, you need to reach 15 points, and then you get that extra 12%, or in the Chinese side, that extra 25%. Whereas with the Frost Resonance, you don't need to do any of that. You are simply just straight up getting 15% attack, again, as long as you have 2 Frost weapons. I think this makes her extremely powerful, and people don't even realize that. The Frost Resonance is huge.
That's what she said.
All right, and then we'll touch bases on the next thing, which is going to be this right here, her dodge skill, which is her multi-slash. Now, this is just straight up a nerf across the board. I cannot say that it's anything special. I can just only say that it is a nerf. The only thing I will say that has going for it is the fact that, you know, you are supposed to kind of combo her Fumble Winter, which gives you that Domain of Frost, into having that infinite dodges, and using this gives you those slashes and stuff like that. And I know some people will be like, well, then Beards, you know, that's where people are saying it's crazy because we're losing out on like 25% extra damage. Remember, you're getting the 15%. So we're literally only losing the 10%. The only big nerf here is the number itself. Global, we have 143% of attack. Chinese has 257% of attack. So it is a nerf. But it is kind of understandable why they did that, because they did give her the Frost Resonance. And they don't want to make her too broken, right? Because we have no idea. Because the next ice character that we're supposed to get that's kind of an ice leader is Sakifua. But we have no idea what they're going to bring to the table when it comes to her. You know, they could change up the game completely. And instead of getting Frost Attack, we could get defense boost or whatever. Just having 2 frost characters gives you defense boost across the board, and yada yada yada. So we don't know what they're gonna do, but we do know, and one thing that we can say for certain is we are getting the Frost Resonance, which is huge. So the multi-slash thing, it's a nerf. It sucks. It's a big nerf, but I do believe the rest of her kits, you know, is going to combo quite well with having that 15% all the time, and the 15%, not 15, 25% frost resistance all the time. I think that's going to help tremendously. So wrapping up the video here, should you summon for Frigg? Just like I mentioned in my first video, if you do want to run an ice team, I will be doing a team video, by the way, for both PvE and PvP for Frigg. But if you do want to run an ice team, Frigg is absolutely a must right now. Merle does not carry the Frost Resonance. Tsubasa doesn't either, neither does Coco, and there's not going to be any updates in the game that we know of that's going to give them that. So that being the case, this is the character that's going to give you the frost buffs you need. Now, even outside of PvE, looking into PvP, you might be like, well, Beards, PvP, Frost Resonance doesn't carry, so should I even go for her? In the PvP side, you are getting a C6 or S6 version of her, so doing the Fumble Winter will give you that attack buff. It's not going to be as strong as the Chinese side, but you're still going to get the attack buff, you're still going to get the shatter, and it's still going to help with frost weapons. So still, in the PvP side, frost build is definitely still the way you want to go with her. That being the case, so it's very easy, very, very easy. If you want a frost team, want it immediately, then summon for Frigg. If you don't want a frost team or you really don't care about it, then honestly you can skip. Most likely though, we're not going to get Sakifua for a while. We're most likely going to get Cobalt B or Claudia soon. So I don't see Sakifua coming anytime soon. So that being the case, if you want that Frost Queen to help out with your Frost team, you're going to have to summon. Do I think she's worth it? We'll see. I'm going to be summoning for her. I'm going to pull her, and then I'm going to use her, and I'll tell you if she's worth it. But right now, I think, honestly, with her kit, yeah. She's looking really, really good. Really good. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully that helped. Hopefully that cleared a lot of things up, because to be honest with you, the whole Friggs been nerfed, not worth it, not worth it. You got to take into account, guys. You got to take that 15% all the time. Just having 2 frost weapons and you're getting 15% all the time, I think that is such a big thing that people need to realize. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay positive. Peace out.